Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to Sangat Health. Today's show is about alcohol. And I've got with me today my esteemed colleagues. We've got Dr. Harpreet Kaur Dodd and we've got Dr. Daniela Basuta, who's going to tell us all about alcohol. First of all, Sangatji, please don't roll your eyeballs or leave the room now because we're talking about that subject, sharab. It's a show that we would like to tell you about information and just talk about some of the issues and aspects that involve our community and the things that we can do to watch out for our community. So I'm going to start by speaking to Daniela. Daniela, what are the common problems in our Sikh Punjabi community associated with alcohol?
So in our community, I'm sure many of you know, you go to a wedding, there's bottles of whiskey, vodka at every single table, and there's so much of it, and it's just such a common thing for us. And I think we learn that that it's a common thing, that it's something that we celebrate with. It's something there for any time anything good happens, if a friend comes to visit, or so it's just completely ubiquitous. And I guess what I want to say to Sad Sangat is that it's something that we really need to work on and we need to address. We can't just wipe it under the carpet. We need to look after ourselves and we need to look after our families.
Yeah. And look at our culture as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at ourselves and think, okay, why is this a problem for us?
Because you're right. I mean, you know, in culturally, sharab or alcohol is actually sewn into the fabric of our society. In that, you know, when we are having a celebration, when we're being hospitable, we've got people coming around for dinner. You know, the first thing we do, and you know, and this is not to make anybody wrong, but it's a sort of it's acceptable now in our community for both men and women to drink, and you know, and on a social level. And I guess we're not talking about sort of, you know, having a couple of drinks with friends socially to be merry. We're looking at more of the sort of issues associated with binge drinking and sort of drinking where you're you know, drinking to excess.
Exactly.
And you know,
to levels that will harm you.
Yeah. So Sangatji, this is very sort of, you know, it's not about you know, meeting with your friends and having a couple of drinks or something. And you know, this show isn't about making anybody out there feeling wrong about what's going on. We're very concerned more about the issues associated with the extreme drinking. So that's what the show's looking at. So as we sort of said, Daniela, that you pointed out at the beginning about drinking to socialise, to celebrate. Almost, I think if you went somewhere and you weren't offered a drink, it would almost be perceived to be disrespectful because it's such a common thing. And you know, I was out with some friends on the weekend, and one of the things that they spoke about was, you know, as young people growing up, that their parents and their grandparents, they'd come home and they'd had a hard day's work at, say, the foundry or something like that, and you know, very manual labour, and they came home and had a drink, and that was a normal sort of thing. So that's who our role models are out there. So we're looking at the problems here. So why do people become so addicted to alcohol? I mean, it has addictive qualities. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So basically, alcohol increases a chemical in the brain called dopamine, and dopamine is the chemical which makes us feel good. फिर जिदा जे असी खाना खांदे आ ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਕਲੇਟ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਗੁਲਾਬ ਜਾਮਨ ਲੱਡੂ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਡੀ ਡੋਪਾਮਾਈਨ ਵੱਧ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ
so the alcohol's causing this natural high, this chemical reaction in the body.
Exactly. So it's completely normal for that to happen, but because alcohol does it to a greater degree, so it would be like having 20 laddus or something, like that's the kind of high we get. And so it's so easy for us to want that more and more, because our body is made like that. that's a natural thing for us to want.
And that's the addictiveness of why we are drinking more, or to get that dopamine experience, or the experience that we get once we drink alcohol to last longer, perhaps.
Exactly.
And then with alcohol, I think the people develop a tolerance as well. So you might drink, say, a glass, and that's enough for you to get that buzz. But then it might be over time, you find that you might need a glass and a half, and then you go to 2, and then before you know it, some people are drinking about a bottle a day, and they don't realize it. And for them, they think, oh, but 1 glass isn't going to touch it. You know, I need to have more.
And is that why we're sort of, you know, as you say, if you the sort of tolerance is being built up, so they're drinking more and more. So as you sort of said, it started with 1 glass, and then maybe 2 glasses to get that same level of high, so to speak. And then if we progress from there, maybe it'd be a bottle to, you know, years later, and some, you know, and you know, we've all seen drinking at home in the community, at functions, or out with our friends in a pub sort of atmosphere, or even at home, you know, and it is very sort of acceptable, and it's a way to sort of, you know, help us with stressful jobs and deal with sort of situations, and you know, is it such a bad thing? I mean, you know, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm speaking for the you know, the people at home. We'll have the Sangat, you know, tuning in at home and saying, oh, you know, they're bashing me about drinking. You know, one of the things I do, मैं काम ते जांदा, मैं घर आंदा, मैनू glass you know, पीना भर दिता पिया. You know, so you know, is it such a bad thing? You know, just to feel sort of slightly relaxed, slightly merry after a hard day's work, or just to take the edge off things? You know, why has it become such a problem?
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਫਰਕ ਹੈ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਜੇ ਕੰਮ ਤੋਂ ਆ ਕੇ 1 ਗਲਾਸ ਪੀਣਾ ਆ, ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆ, ਹੋਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਰੋਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ, ਉਹ ਫਰਕ ਆ. So I think that's the difference between enjoying alcohol and being dependent on alcohol. But sometimes the line between one and the other can be very difficult to tell. Like if you look at your own family, you know, you might see them slip into that kind of addiction and dependence. And I think that's why it's so important for us to talk about these things.
Exactly.
सानू गल करना चाहिदा है, क्योंकि जे असी गल नहीं करदे फिर असी कुछ कर नहीं सकदे इहदे बारे.
So how, you know, how do we recognise?
So guys, one thing is, it's just what they've said is commented is that as a Sikh channel, we might get taken to washing if we condone alcohol.
Yeah.
So it's just come out that what we've got to do is keep it to the point that we're going to talk about alcohol abuse. And this is what the dangers of alcohol, but we can't go into condoning 1 glass, 2 glass, because what that will take in there is, oh, you guys are condoning a little bit of alcohol then.
Okay.
Do you know? And so in a Sikh channel, so if we're doing it as a normal conversation.
But to be honest now, like the government has said that there isn't actually any safe level of alcohol. So although the national guidelines have now changed, so it used to go from 21 units to 14, the government have now said that there isn't actually any safe level of alcohol to drink.
That point out?
So that'll be the point that I'll bring up to say, well, actually, you know, so somebody drinking 1 glass or
that's
1
still
bottle, and
cause
so what it is, and then what we've got to stay is we've got to stay as we are not alcohol condoning.
No,
But we also don't want to sound too judgmental though.
No, not judgmental, but we're just going to say, but what it is they're saying, because what they're saying is that people out there.
But does, you know, the thing is, people, not Tory law is, I suppose the thing what we're sort of saying is about you know, people are drinking, that's a fact.
It is a problem.
It's a fact, but I think
we say is that ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ we as a team are not here judging you, but at the same time, you know, in Sikhi, alcohol is not.
Yeah, well, we can
even
talk
just
about
I can say like from a health perspective.
Health perspective, yes.
Because if you, I think even if you say from a Sikhi perspective, then that does sound like
Judgmental.
that's judgmental.
But Jazz, you know what? If you look at all the research out there, right, they're saying now you can drink a glass of wine and that's good for blood pressure and things like that.
So that research,
Is that gone?
that's old.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
old research.
So what we need
So
to
we
do
can
is-
talk about that.
So we should
actually.
bring that up then.
Bring that up.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
it really strong. Say before people, you can say that people used to think about alcohol in terms of little bit is good. It's not there, Sangat, and then come
Yeah.
up with that strong fact.
Yeah.
Let's keep it because the conversation has to stay more into
The excess,
what
isn't it?
The alcohol and its bad effects on the body.
Yeah, it's
Stay
just
there.
I
Stay there.
yeah.
No, no, it's
okay,
fine.
I don't want to demonize anyone, and I think that will be
But what he's right in
counterproductive.
saying is that if we're caught on camera saying it's okay if you have 1 or 2 glasses,
So that's what I'm saying.
What happens is-
I was
got
actually
something
I was
there.
actually going to say that before you came in, but
Yes.
it's saying that that now the government have recommended that they're on a safe levels. So I think
Very
rather
important
than
point.
Yeah.
rather
So
than
are we
say
scratching all
sticky-
of this, or are we starting?
But you?
Because we haven't actually said it's okay.
No. But you will. How will you address the bits where they said about a bit of alcohol, this, that, and the other?
No, but I was saying, right, I can
Okay,
clarify
so
what I
so
said.
clarify that.
Yeah.
And then if we need to take out bits, the
Yeah.
rest of it will take on. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
key is that point that you made is really, really good.
Yeah.
Now it's all changed. You will hear people saying, "Ek glass tea ka tode vaste." No, but don't say it in that way. But no, it's not. It's not. They haven't actually given a safe level at all.
So where were we? We were on about alcohol dependence, or do we want to go?
And, you know,
So
and
we
you
were
can-
talking. So I was basically talking about the difference between dependence